All right, welcome back, everybody. Here to do another video for you right now, and I wanted to do this one on pro-life versus abolitionists. Okay, you may be curious about that, what the difference is between the two groups. You may think they're synonymous, but they're really not. There are some major differences between your pro-life movement and those of the abolitionists. Okay, so I just want to give you a general overview real quick, and I want to start off with the pro-life position. Okay. As far back as I can remember, I've always considered myself to be pro-life. I've always followed those movements, the different pro-life leaders that we see throughout the news. I still follow some on Facebook. So I see some of the videos of people like Kristen Hawkins or Lila Rose, Doug Wilson, stuff like that. And these are people that they do push pro-life laws. They are against abortion. They have good intentions. And they have a lot of different movements that they have going on. They'll go outside abortion clinics and protest them. They'll do marches for life and try to raise awareness of the cause of these babies that are being aborted. So there's a lot of good things that the pro-life movement does. And they try to change the culture. They try to change hearts and minds about what's going on and try to get people to not be so apathetic, I guess you'd say, about abortion, about what's going on in our communities and at Planned Parenthood and different organizations like that. Okay, so they do some good things. Okay, but I don't completely agree with them in a lot of stuff, and here's why. Okay, so that's kind of just a very generalized overview of pro-lifers. But abolitionists, though, groups like Abolitionist Rising, okay, that's a great example. You can look them up. But I side more with them in this, and I do consider myself to be an abolitionist, because we don't believe in incrementalism. Okay, that is, we don't believe in slowly over time changing the laws to abolish all of abortion. Okay, we believe in ending it now. Okay, we don't want to pass, just a heartbeat bill that says babies, once a detectable heartbeat is there, that now they can't be killed. Because when we do that, what you're doing is you're setting up every other baby that has not reached that point in development yet, and you're saying, well, I guess they can be killed because there's no detectable heartbeat. And you're also opening up the case for a woman to go to a doctor who lies if he knows his patient wants to have an abortion, and they could just say, oh, well, we didn't hear the heartbeat, right? So there's ways around laws like that. So we don't agree with stuff like that. In the King James Bible, in Micah chapter 6, verse 8, the Bible says this. It says, He hath showed thee, O man, what is good, and what doth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. Okay, so did you catch that part where it says, but to do justly, to be just, to act in a just manner, and to love mercy? Okay, as abolitionists, we do not believe in having partiality in the administration of the law. We believe in being just and righteous in the way that the laws are portrayed. Okay, so we believe that equal rights should exist for every single person, both born and unborn. There shouldn't be any categories of those that are, if we do a separation between abortion laws where after 24 weeks they have to be protected, but before that there's no protection. That's not equal justice under the law. Okay, over in Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 19, once again, this is the King James Bible. The Bible says this. It says, Thou shalt not wrest judgment, thou shalt not respect persons, neither take a gift, for a gift doth blind the eyes of the wise and pervert the words of the righteous. Okay, but at the beginning of that verse, it says, Thou shalt not wrest judgment, thou shalt not respect persons. Okay, so we need to be fair and impartial in all judgments. Okay, that means we treat all people, all individuals, whether they're born or unborn, equally, equal treatment under the law. Okay, so that's one of the big things with the abolitionist movement is we believe in ending abortion right now for every single person. Okay, no exceptions, nothing like that. And here's a big problem that I see in the pro-life movement is there's a lot of inconsistencies in what they say they believe in and what they do. Okay, first off, there's not that equal protection under the law. Okay, if you look at any pro-life bill that gets pushed through the to the legislators, whenever they do these things, they always tend to put exemptions in there. Okay, for instance, they'll put, we're going to ban abortion except in cases of rape or incest. Okay, now here's where the inconsistency comes in. If we truly believe abortion's wrong because it's murder, because it kills an innocent human life, then whether somebody was raped or a victim of incest, that does not change the fact that that baby growing inside them was still an innocent human being that is deserving of life. It has value. It's created in the image of God. Okay? We cannot say a baby born in a consensual, loving relationship in a marriage should be protected, but that a baby born through a violent act of rape or incest is not categorized as a human, and it can be killed. Okay? That is being logically and morally inconsistent. We cannot do that. Okay? We don't have a leg to stand on when we do that. If we're okay with killing babies born from incest or rape, then we have nothing to stand on when it comes to any babies. If it's okay to kill one, it should be okay to kill both, if we're going to be logically consistent. Okay? And here's an example I always like to use, because another problem we have with pro-life laws, typically even the ones where they try to come in and say we're going to ban all abortion and we're going to make it illegal, most of the times what they put in there is that they're going to go after the abortion doctors that provide these abortions. Okay? They typically always put in there protections for the mother themselves, the mother that's physically going to the abortion doctor and seeking him out for this abortion. Okay? And I understand in some cases women are coerced. That is true. Okay? Sometimes it's their boyfriends, their husbands coerce them into going, maybe even their parents. Okay? And that's wrong. Okay? But to put a blanket protection in there for mothers and say, they're not going to get prosecuted, that makes no sense. I mean, if a mother was to hire a hitman to kill her 1-year-old child and the police found out, what are they going to do? Well, they're going to arrest the hitman. They're also going to arrest that mother for hiring the hitman, right? Okay, so why would it be any different when it comes to abortion? When a woman purposely goes out of her way, okay, she thought about it, she knew what to do, she looked up where to go for that abortion, she goes there and she pays the doctor to kill her baby. Okay, there should be equal protection. There should be equal justice. Just as we should arrest and charge the abortion doctor, we should do the same for the mother in that circumstance. She's just as guilty. Okay, so we got to be consistent if we're going to make these arguments. If you want to be impartial in justice, if you want to be consistent and logical in your arguments, then you need to go with the route of the abolitionists. Okay, the pro-life movement, like I said, they have done a lot of good stuff, but there are some serious inconsistencies in the laws that they pass and the way they go about this incrementalism. Okay, we should defend equal rights for all human beings, both born and unborn. Doesn't matter if they're 24 weeks old, 36 weeks old. Doesn't matter if they're 1 week old in the womb and there's no detectable heartbeat yet. All human life deserves protection. Okay, from that moment of conception onward. Okay, so that's just like I said, this is just going to be a brief overview of the pro-life and abolitionist movement. We could talk about a whole list of other things, but that is overall why I am an abolitionist. Okay, if you have any questions, any comments, add them in the box below. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do. We'll be having more videos coming up soon. Thank you. Take care.